Couple of big fights announced at UFC 311. We have got the UFC 313 main event and co-main event. Kicking off with the main event, we have got Alex Pereira. Finally not being able to duck Magomed Ankalaev for any longer. This fight is officially booked March 8th, Saturday, UFC 313 in the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm going to be honest, I know I say Pereira is ducking him, and for a while it did come across that Pereira was pulling a John Jones here. I think he beats Ankalaev. I've seen a lot of people saying that they think Ankalaev is going to beat him, and I just don't think them people have watched Ankalaev fight a whole lot, to be honest, because I see people saying he's just going to out-grapple him, he's just going to take him down, out-grapple him, blah, 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 blah. And yes, that can happen, because Ankalaev, he can wrestle, and he will be a better grappler than what Pereira is. Now, I don't think Pereira's grappling is as bad as what everybody makes it out to be honest. I mean, we've seen Jan Blachowicz take him down, and he's been able to get back up, and we've been able to see him keep himself safe when he is on the mat. So I don't think it's going to be like he takes him down and he's going to be like fucking CM Punk off his back. I don't think he's going to be like that. Pereira will know what to do. But Ankalaev is predominantly a boxer. This guy is a southpaw boxer. And that's his style. And that has been his style forever. I mean, that's how the guy fights. He's a southpaw boxer that looks for the counter and has a really good straight left hand that can grapple, but doesn't offensively grapple a whole lot. Like, he really, really doesn't. Majority of the time, he will choose to stand with you, and then sometimes the striking might not work, so then he'll look to implement grappling, like we've seen in the Jan Blachowicz matchup. But I think he is, like he said, he's going to stand with Pereira, and that doesn't surprise me when he says that, because that is his style. He is predominantly a striker, and Pereira is going to be able to beat him. Also, Magomed Ankalaev is predominantly a boxer that literally has zero idea on how to check leg kicks. And that there is disastrous when you're going in there with the best leg kicker right now in the UFC, arguably the best striker right now in the UFC, Alex Pereira. But the way Pereira throws leg kicks, the placement, you just can't tell when he's throwing them. You know, there's no wind up, there's no loading of the hips, he just lets it go. The placement, like I said, the power he's able to possess when he's not swinging his leg around, it looks like he's literally just tapping you. And the damage he has done to multiple fighters like Israel Adesanya, Yuri Prohaska, Jamal Hill. I mean, the list goes on. Now, Ankalaev is a southpaw, so normally Pereira is an orthodox fighter, so you might say, well, that's going to fuck up his leg kicks, but Yuri Prohaska was fighting the southpaw at some parts in their rematch, and Pereira was able to basically do the exact same amount of damage as he would with his back leg, with his lead leg kicking at the calf. And I think that is what's going to happen in here. Pereira is an elite striker. You know, Pereira is going to win the foot battle, in my opinion. You know, that if you're an orthodox southpaw, that's kind of what you're battling for. Foot position, and his straight right, I think, is going to be fucking money for him in this matchup. That's going to be a shot. I think he's going to do some serious damage to Magomed Ankalaev in there. I think he is going to stop him within 3 rounds. I'm kind of leaning towards late second, early third is when I think Pereira is going to get the job done. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't like a walkover matchup. Ankalaev can definitely beat him. Ankalaev can definitely hurt Pereira in there. Now, I always thought after seeing Pereira get KO'd by Israel Adesanya and hurt by Adesanya in their first matchup, then KO'd in their second, that I always thought the guy, he might be a bit shinny. Because Israel Adesanya, let's face it, isn't the world's biggest puncher. But I think it was definitely the weight cut that was really having this effect on Alex Pereira. And obviously, the guy's not cutting the weight anymore. He's looked good in there. He's been in there with big punchers like Yuri, Jan Blachowicz, Jamal Hill, Khalil Roundtree's been in there with him. I think he's going to beat him. I think Ankalaev isn't the next coming of Khabib Nurmagomedov like people make him out to be. He's a boxer that's going to get his lead leg chewed off him, and eventually Pereira is going to be able to kind of lure him in to one of them shots. I think he's going to lure him in. Big right hand's going to stumble him. And it's kind of maybe going to look like a Khalil Roundtree finish or maybe an Adesanya finish. I think he's going to draw Ankalaev in, crack him with a right hand. Ankalaev's going to go up against the cage, start to cover, maybe wing a couple of shots, and Pereira is just going to stop him up against the cage. That is my early prediction for this matchup. I cannot wait for this. Finally, order is restored in the light heavyweight division. The guy's on like an 11-fight win streak.
Bruh.
He deserves his chance, even though he is a born fucker and I really don't want him to be champion. The rankings have to matter in some sort of way. This is the matchup to make. Moving on to the co-main event, we have got Justin Gaethje versus Dan Hooker.
But what the hell, boy?
Violence, pain, suffering, gore, grotesque, horrifying. This is what this fight's going to bring. Co-main event. I did hear Daniel Cormier say, oh, is this like a BMF fight? Is this for like a BMF thing? If this is for the BMF title, God fucking bless. I don't need to see more than one BMF champion. I don't even need to see one BMF champion. But this right here, what a fight this is. People have been wanting this fight for quite some time now. Justin Gaethje obviously coming off that devastating, brutal knockout defeat to the hands of Max Holloway at UFC 300. And Dan Hooker is coming off that robbery. Yes, I'm going to say it again, robbery.
Bruh.
Decision win over Gamrot. This matchup's going to be a fun one. I'm seeing a lot of people pick Dan Hooker, and I feel like Dan Hooker can have a lot of success. He can definitely win this matchup, especially at kickboxing range, if he's able to keep Justin Gaethje at kickboxing range. But even then, I think Gaethje's leg kicks are going to cause Dan Hooker a lot of problems, although Gaethje hasn't really thrown his leg kicks the way he used to. I mean, we did see him land a lot of leg kicks against Max Holloway, so maybe it is coming back, but even in fights previous. But this is what I think is going to happen in this matchup, to be honest. Yes, Dan Hooker, I think if he keeps it at range, he can have a lot of success in there. I think he throws more volume than what Justin Gaethje does. But I think these guys are going to stand in the pocket and trade. And if that is to happen, that is Justin Gaethje's world, in my opinion. He's going to stand in there. He's going to trade. He's a bigger puncher than what Dan Hooker is. I'd maybe say Gaethje's a bit more chinnier than what Dan Hooker is. But I feel like in the pocket, when Gaethje's like bobbing and weaving and just fucking winging his shots, I think he's going to catch Dan Hooker. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Dan Hooker got KO'd by fucking Michael Chandler.
Bruh.
I cannot get that out of my fucking brain. I cannot move past that moment. I think Justin Gaethje's going to stand in the pocket with Dan Hooker, and I think it is inevitable, shout out to Thanos, that he is going to hit Dan Hooker with the and knock him out. I can see them maybe being in the clinch a bit, and Gaethje's kind of breaking away, and then just swings an overhand, bang, cracks Dan Hooker. He does a bit of the chicken dance, legs stiffen up a bit, and then like a left hook, like a jumping left hook from Gaethje. I don't know why I think I'm Justin Gaethje throwing these shots, puts him down. I am predicting Justin Gaethje KOs Daniel Hooker inside 2 rounds. Let me know your opinions on these matchups in the comments below, and as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you again in the next one.